The freedom is that spontaneity, that everything arises and falls by itself. Even the thought of me is just arising. The thought of me as a person is also just rising spontaneously and dies spontaneously. And then the next moment there is maybe an experience of a bird singing. Arises spontaneously, falls spontaneously. If you look directly at that, you will see it's pure freedom. It's absolutely freedom. When you awaken, you see that that's all there is. That there is this consciousness reflecting itself in moment to moment in experiences. And nothing else. There is no me separated from this. There's just this stream of consciousness coming and going. And no, there's not a person that are free to choose anything here or do anything about it. If that arises, that's another experience that arises out of spontaneity and dies away. The feeling I am free to choose is just another complex of thoughts and emotions that arises and falls away. Look closely and you will see that's all there is. This is fairly easy somehow to see when the experiences that are arises and going are not troublesome. Somehow, oh yes, that's true. That just comes an experience and goes again. And it's arising spontaneously and it falls away spontaneously. And it's totally free, totally spontaneous. There's not a me doing it. The reason why I call it my thoughts is just another experience that I identify with and believe in. It's also just an experience arises. And going. That it is my body. Look at this I that comes in here and takes ownership. If you can see these as just another experience arises and falls away, then what is left? Nothing. There was nothing before and nothing after. What we call memories of the past or the future is just experiencing arises here now in this living moment and fades away. Beside that there is no future and no past. It's all it takes to wake up. The problem arises when there comes an experience that is not okay. Then there starts a subtle fight with it, a struggle. And confusion arises. It's not clear any longer. Suddenly there is confusion. The moment there comes the slightest grasping and rejecting, then this stream of consciousness is disturbed. The spontaneity and the freedom is lost. Until you relax and see that the struggle is another rising in consciousness and another falling. Then you're suddenly back again. Oh, whew. This confusion, even if it was painful, was just another arising and falling in consciousness. The same spontaneous movement. Somebody walks out of the door, it's just an experience. Rising and falling. After a while, there comes a new experience, rising and falling. And there is no me choosing that. It just happens. And if there is a me believing that I am choosing this is another happening. Be free. This is the flow. When you realize that totally, you're out of the mess. Then life is just what it is. It just goes on. There's nobody to judge it. And even if there's someone to judge it, it's another rising of experience that comes and goes. That's why we meditate. That's why you're told to watch the mind. Watch. Watch. Not because what you are watching is interesting, really. It's not about the content of what you are watching that matters. It is to see this, that everything is free, spontaneous, and it's for nobody. A bird is singing, it arises and falls, and there's nothing else. If there is anything else, it's a new arising and experience. Just see that, and you're free.